Good evening, everybody, and thank you for coming back for another episode of The Bold and the Beautiful. We're taping for March the 22nd at 1:30, and let's get on right into it. Okay, of course, they're recapping off from yesterday's episode, and we're at the Foresters' home, and we're looking at Bridge, Baby Douglas, and Caroline, and they're still cooing the baby, and Caroline is walking around in a circle with the baby, and you know Ridge is just taking it all in and things of that nature. And for the first time I seen the baby smile, and it was a pretty little baby too. And they're basically just engulfed in all the love and the family dynamics and bringing life, new life into the world. And it's just shaping their whole family background that they wanted to have with one another. But then I'm thinking, like, okay, to me it's just really a fantasy for them, because Ridge still hasn't married Caroline in the traditional sense. I know they went on and did this little mess where they were overlooking some kind of ocean, and they were making vows to themselves and ministering to themselves of what they wanted to foster in their relationship and all of this, that, and the other. But technically, they're not even married. Mm-mm. Done had a baby out of wedlock, but it's not with Ridge because we knew he had a vasectomy, so he can't have no kids. So I'm just looking at all this travesty going on. I'm like, when will it ever end? I'm tired of it. So we move on to Maya and Rick. Maya done went out there, done went shopping for the baby that's pending, and she's bought little cute baby booties that were white. Kind of reminded me of the ones I had bought for my daughter. Then she bought this little cute onesie top, and they just reminiscing on what's to be, how far they done came along in their relationship, and this, that, and the other. And then Rick comes from behind the desk, and he's being a little sarcastic, saying, yeah, Ridge done had another baby, and he's just taking all the joy out of it and sucking all the life out of it, so nobody's gonna really pay attention to our baby when the baby finally comes. I like, child, sit down somewhere. And she was reassuring him that that's certainly not the case, that when their baby finally come in the world, through the help and enlistment of her baby sister, Nicole, that they're going to be just as happy for them. And they were really, were the first ones that really actually said they wanted to have a baby, and they took this route with the sister, Maya's sister, to carry their baby for them, since of course they can't carry a baby. And get down. And they just, Rick just really being sarcastic and mean spirited and just need to let it go. So um they were also bringing up the idea that they were worried about Nicole and Sunday breaking up with her and how it was affecting her negatively. And of course they was looking out for her benefit, but they was trying to also look out for the unborn child that she's carrying, so she won't create too much stress for her that it would internally cause stress for the baby. So they're trying to keep her on an even keel and trying to keep her as relaxed as possible while she's carrying a baby. But like I said, both of them are caring about both entities, her as well as the unborn child. So they're just feeling, some kind of way that they felt Sunday should have been a little bit more understanding and hanging in there a little bit longer, because they really are at the end, almost towards the end of the pregnancy. But Sunday's not feeling that way. Nicole is still upset because she wants Sunday back in her life, but she doesn't regret her first thought of having a baby for her sister and her brother-in-law. So then we move back on to Sunday and Sasha. They're in his photography studio. And of course, Sasha, thinking she done the darn thing by sleeping with her sister, which they don't know that there's, well, she knows that she's her sister, but Nicole has no idea and Maya has no idea, but I'm sure that's going to come up sooner rather than later, probably before she even give deliverance to Maya's baby. Might put her in pre-labor, child. Who knows? But anyway, Sasha and him are in the studio looking at, past pictures and, the setup of something else maybe they're trying to do. And she's just trying to address the elephant in the room because I guess they never really got back with each other and talked with one another about what had transpired between them that night when they slept together. She slept with him. Yeah, she slept with him. Girl, please. And she's thinking it's a big deal and he needs to acknowledge it because I'm pretty sure she wants to get back in the sack with him again. But he's feeling some kind of way about it. And I'm like, I don't understand. Be far from me to ever understand a man's mentality. I mean, you want something, then you don't want it. You fight as hard as you can, then you finally get it, and then you rocking with it. It was good, but then you're gonna act like you have amnesia, like it didn't happen, or it shouldn't have happened, like you have a guilt complex. I mean, just stay on one plane, please. And they say women are indecisive and we're too emotional. And I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on with you Sunday? Okay, first you said you wanted Nicole. Nicole decided to do a good deed for her brother-in-law and her sister, and she did it. She became pregnant, and you were fine until she started showing, and then you start having, issues about that. And I'm like, you adopted. You should know the difficulties of wanting a family, and when you finally got adopted by your parents, it was just a good thing, and it was a blessing. But now you know that your girlfriend's sister and your I think he's what nephew. I'm sitting here. I don't think he's well, maybe the cousin, I believe. That they want you to basically help them out to have a life and a miracle of their own. And you should have been a little bit more understanding and geared to helping someone because somebody helped you, not be an orphan anymore. So I'm like, you just selfish, and I really think she just needs somebody else because you're showing your true colors. She trying to do something good and moral and of value, and you're trying to just be a snob, and you weren't even raised like that. Because I know your mother and your father. I've seen them in the past. They ain't like that. So I'm ashamed of you. I'm such ashamed of you at this point. And then you're gonna get your little side chick on the side and do what you got to do, and then you still running around here telling, I just can't take it. It's just too much for me. Now, what's too much for you is your conscience is whipping your behind because you denied being with somebody nice and wholesome, because she's impregnated with somebody else's baby, and it's not somebody else's baby, like she was messing with another man and this, that, and the other. She did something nice for somebody and of value, and then you're gonna try to justify your feelings because you don't did wrong. You don't slept with her sister, who you don't know is her sister or half sister, but you will know sooner or later, and you just made a mess of yourself. And I'm like, ugh, recast or send you over to Italy or Paris, because no, no. But anyway, kind of went off course there. But Sasha's basically wanting him to admit that it was a good thing that they hooked up, and she's not ashamed of it, and she's trying to make him feel like he shouldn't be ashamed of it. But her tables are turning too because, but I still think she's evil. I still think she's evil. So I'm gonna reserve my opinion on her. Other than I think she's a troublemaker and she's just trying to get what she wants and this, that, and the other. And her dad is gonna eventually have to come out with the truth and tell his wife that he was fooling around, which made a baby. And here she is, 18, 19, 20 years old, and in their face, and she don't even know about it. So all these secrets gotta have to come out. They have to come out. They've been in the dark too long. But anyway, um, Sunday's just really pretty much, saying, it is what it is. Yes, we slept together. I'm still not feeling you because I am pretty much, ashamed of myself. He didn't say the ashamed of himself, but he kind of felt it. And he was keeping his distance from Sasha. because Sasha just wanted to, like I said, get back in the sack with him, probably get pregnant herself, and then that is going to be a hot mess. Hell, she might be pregnant for we know. I didn't see her do no protection. She just went back after he denied her, but she wanted him, and she wasn't going to take no for an answer. So they went and they had sex after she came back. So I don't know if it was some protection going on, but from the looks of it, I don't think so. And like I said, she may come up pregnant. But we're gonna move on from that situation because he left her in the studio because he felt he needed to go find Nicole and try to explain to her why he's still taking the stance on not being her man to maybe after she have the baby. But then I'm like, if he didn't want you then, when you were going through all these emotional issues and heartache and stuff of that nature, you don't need him after the pregnancy because he gonna run every time things get too difficult for him. And he ain't no man right now. He ain't no man, honey. He a boy. And anyway, so we move on from there. We go to Maya and Sunday. Sunday is going around the whole Forrester Creations, call itself looking for Nicole. Nicole ain't that hard to find. She, probably the next one says Maya. Hey, she the only other. Well, okay, it's Maya. Okay, it's two of them that's black, but there ain't a whole lot of black folks running around Forrester Creations. You know what I'm saying? And they know they, cream of the cream with, the Forrester, so it ain't hard to find her. But anyway, he felt like, it's so hard to find her, so he just stepped into Rick's office, and Maya and them were in there. I think Rick was gone. I can't remember, but anyway, Maya was there. And Maya was like, "Oh, come on in. You can come on in and talk to me, whatever, because I want to talk to you anyway." And so, she's basically talking with Sunday, saying, that was pretty trifling what you did to my sister. You didn't have to throw her under the bus like that. She was having our baby, and she's still carrying our baby. We don't need her in stress. And I just don't understand what you don't understand about. She ain't doing anything to harm you all the relationship. She just tried to do something good for me and my husband. What kind of person are you? I know the family raised you better than that. And, she's going on trying to do a guilt trip and all that, but Sunday wasn't having it. He was still trying to prove his point that it made him feel uncomfortable. He is uncomfortable with it still to this day. But what is uncomfortable really now, it's not necessarily that. That man is uncomfortable because he know he don't did to do with somebody else, which is really their sister. It's just that's a hot mess. So he just, Nicole had been not returning his phone calls because he still just felt real bad about it. And he really felt bad after he slept with Sasha. And because he wanted his first time to be with a nice young lady such as Nicole. But, his penis just had a mind of its own, and he was horny at the time, so he just took the first thing smoking. So it is what it is. But if you're gonna tell the truth, then tell the truth. Don't be saying you're being sympathetic now to breaking up with her, but you still have the same feelings of not wanting to be involved with her. Not on that type of scale anyway. Not now. So it moves on to Sasha and Nicole. um, when what's his name? Sunday had left the photography studio when he felt uncomfortable when Sasha wanted to talk about the night that they had spent together. He left, and then Nicole came out unbeknownst to Sunday, unbeknownst to seeing Nicole in the shadows in the back. She just waited till he exited out, and then she came from the corner where she was hiding and came out and said she needed to talk to Sasha. And of course, Sasha looking all crazy because maybe she's under the impression that she knew what Nicole knew what had happened that night between Sunday and her when they had slept together. But as she kept, the commercial came, and then it came back on to that same scene, and she was just talking about, she knows this secret that basically has been keeping them apart and this, that, and the other. But it wasn't the secret that Sasha felt she was gonna blow out on her and then end up probably them getting a fight, but not no physical fight, but fuss fighting was gonna come out, and then she had to, say she had overstepped her boundaries, and I guess beg for Nicole's apology or forgiveness, I should say, for sleeping with her man. uh, just right after they had broke up. Because, you know, what kind of sister is that? Or what kind of best friend is that would do that kind of stuff? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, no, she just basically came out and said she know that Sasha was still mad at her after she found out that Sasha was the one that ran to Rick and wanted to fire her because how Sasha had came off of wanting to be a model for Sunday, and then her pictures came out to be very beautiful. The impromptu shooting, video shooting that they were doing on her, and she just got jealous, and now she really does have a reason to be jealous, and definitely not confiding in her about anything dealing with her and Sunday. But of course she don't know it. She's just feeling like Sasha's not wanting to be around her because of that fact that she tried to get her fired on the onset of Sasha coming out trying to work for the Forrester Creations in the modeling agency um, part of their business. So that kind of got her to that in reality, in a sense. So she was like, okay, so she really don't know that I did sleep with her man. So she's looking for my forgiveness. Okay, fine. I can, you know, I'll say I'm sorry. Da, 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 da. But she also threw something of a wedge in there because she said, no, I'm sorry. And if, you know, Sasha wanted to really be truthful about it, she went on and told her what she was really being sorry for, and that Nicole really didn't deserve to be apologizing to her because, you know, it's just the two things didn't equal up to how bad Sasha had really betrayed her in her friendship. So, you know, she was just really sitting there confiding into Sasha about, you know, the whole thing with Sunday and that she missed Sunday and this, that, and that. You remember I was having this conversation, well, it wasn't on my channel, but it was on our dual channel with me and my daughter about not telling your friends about your man and keeping all that stuff secret because you never know who may be looking at your man, and you may be giving them the ammunition that they need to come in there and draw a wedge between you and your man. Because, you know, like I said, she was confiding in this young lady who she is knowing her really as a good friend from back in the day when they were both out of town in another state living. And of course, you know, how she came to Los Angeles, we all know. And then we all know the little slippery slope that brought Sasha into the Forrester Creation family. So all of it's about lies, treachery, and deceit. So that's pretty much where we are in that whole circle of Maya's parents, as well as bringing Sasha here, which is their sister, but they don't know anything about that. And I'm sure it's going to come out real soon from this debacle that's pretty much going to go down between the two. So then we go on back to Rich finally getting into the office, trying to gather some work so he can take some work home and he can stay abreast on all the comings and goings of the office and the business aspects of it. But he what do you call it? Daddy Forrester, Eric is there, and Pam comes in, and they're congratulating him and welcome him back, and you know, telling him he shouldn't be at work right now. He need to go on back home. And he said, yeah, he knows. He's just picking up some items so he can work from home and you know stay abreast on the company's business aspects, as you know, the um the portfolio of the income that is coming in, and the revenue that's being generated from, I guess, the gown sale and any other thing that he need to be notified of since he's not in the office. And of course, they're doing toasts to him and congratulating him on the baby and wishing him and Caroline, you know, many more and thus, you know, whatever. And um, that's when Bridge actually tells both his father, which is really not his father, because you know, like I said, it's trifling. It's a whole big mess with their whole family. Because Stephanie had an affair with Massimo Moroni, and you know, back in the day, and you know, he knew who his baby. Well, he didn't really know till some time further on in the future. But Stephanie tried to play it off, and it come to find out once everybody got grown and solidified having their own children and stuff that Stephanie had slept with Moroni maybe a couple of times in the past before, what was it? It might have been before they actually got married. So I don't think before Eric and her got married, they may have been having trouble in their marriage. And she had that little one night stand, a couple of night stand with Massimo Moroni, and they end up having Ridge, but she just played the son off as Eric Forrester. So it's the same thing that Eric trying to play off on Caroline. They got to keep this secret from Thomas because that's Thomas's baby that they had that one night affair with because Ridge had said he didn't want her and wanted her out of his life and this, that, and that. And then she felt so bad she went to some hotel and Thomas came checking on this, that, and the other. And then they slept together one time. And she was on this enhancement drug to get her pregnant and whatnot. And that was that one night was of conception. And that was Thomas' baby. But now again, triangle building again from, just being deceptive and evil like his mother was, hiding, trying to keep secrets. Now they're trying to hide the baby from his son. So anyway, just to make a long story short, I just don't understand how so many lies can be told. And Ridge knows about how lies were very detrimental when he was growing up, and then he finally figured out that his dad, who he thought was his dad, wasn't his dad at all. So he knew how that felt. So I don't understand why he trying to do the same thing to his son. Whew, it's just a hot mess. But like I said, you know, they're basically in the office, and he's telling his dad that they're naming the baby Douglas in memory of his past wife, his mother, and her maiden name. So they'll always, when they see Douglas, they'll always have a part of Stephanie, his mom. And they just thought that was, solidified, and that was very well thoughtful. That was very thoughtful of them to have that in remembrance of his mom. So that was a good scene. And then the scene goes back to Thomas and Caroline and baby Douglas. Well, Caroline has already had said goodbye to Ridge, and it really is expecting him to come back home soon. To be with them. And she's walking around talking to the baby and everything. And then Thomas from nowhere comes in. I'm like, didn't your dad tell you to go to the office and work? So I'm assuming that it's almost work time is being completely over. Or I don't know. He just really wanted to come back and see the baby. He just wanted to wait till his dad had left or whatever. He might have been on the outside, honey. Uh, waiting for him to leave. He said, I'm coming back. So, he just was really drawn to him, and he really needed to hold that baby, and he didn't get a chance to do that really, and not have his dad basically breathing down his neck. So he went back and was having a little bit more conversations with Caroline, and he was asking Caroline if it wouldn't be too much trouble could he hold the baby. And she was like looking at him like, are you crazy? Because she done already got her orders from her superior husband, who's, like I said again, is not her husband, because they ain't really, they ain't had no wedding, they ain't had no minister, no preacher, no rabbi, whatever, to come by and officiate their, what do you call it, marital vows or anything. So, hot mess. So, scene moves on to Maya and Sunday. They're back in the office. He's still trying to make headway. Maya's pretty much trying to understand it, but she don't understand it because she wanted him to be that support system for Nicole that they probably couldn't fill in because it was like an intimate moment that she needed to have with a man, and a man's perspective, and just a man's friendship until she can go back to living her single life and patching things up with Sunday. And he was still set steadfast on it was the best thing for them to break up, but he didn't want to necessarily hurt her the way that he did. But he can't talk about the situation with her because she's not responding to any of his texts or answering any of his calls. And he wanted to make sure everything was cool with her, with carrying a baby, as well as mentally cool that she's in acceptance of his final decision, which was to leave her alone altogether. And of course, Ma pretty much don't want to hear, and she's basically saying, you need to go. and get her, straighten her out, and y'all work through this because she only has, I think she's 6 months, so she only had like 3 months, or maybe lesser than that. It's TV land to deliver, and they can work it out. Anything's workable, if you really want it. So then we move on to Nicole and Sasha. Child still confiding in her, unbeknownst to her, her sister, but she's looking at her as a best friend from their past, and I don't know. It's a hot mess. It's a hot mess. Sasha's just taking it all in and trying to play Miss Goody Two Shoes of the whole issue, but she know where she wrong and she's foul, just foul. So it seemed like she wanted to tell Nicole, and that she felt a little regretful for doing what she had did with Sunday, but she ain't really giving up on Sunday either. She feels bad for Nicole. She feels how bad about how it ended and the indecisiveness, that they both were having in the relationship or whatnot. But she says, in her mind, it, fair love, fair and war all goes together in a relationship, and she's just gonna try to continue seeing Sunday, and that's it. So the next scene goes to Rick, Eric, Pam, and Forrester. Ridge, the Forrester clan. And, I don't know what's Rick. I think Rick does know about, through the information coming from his mother, Brooke, that Rich cannot have babies anymore. And he was just kind of poking digs at, Ridge, which is his stepdad, because, he married his mom also. Marriages are married everybody, I believe, except for Donna. And that's because Donna always kept her a man in her life. But basically, he messed with Katie, messed with Brooke. Probably would have messed with Brooke's daughter Hope if they gave, you know, well, if the soap opera writers wanted to write it in that way, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause he done been through the whole family. But anyway, he's just telling Ridge, congratulations, on your new baby. How is that? Like he just taking digs that he know. His mom done told him you can't have baby, so why are you keeping up this farce? But they don't really know who baby it could be. Other than, they have their ideas, but he knows that Ridge is not the father. And I'm just waiting for him to drop that bomb or Caroline to drop that bomb first. One of them need to drop the bomb and enlighten Thomas that he does have a baby. He's not going crazy. He's not having these little maternal, well, I guess it would be fraternal uh, emotions, trying to get closer to his little bitty brother that just came in the world. Why he's feeling these, emotions to be drawn to him, because it's just, like I said, it's just his little brother. But Caroline knows, what it is. It's the instinct of you having a child in this world, and that child is, being not in your environment or your comfort, or what is it called? What I'm talking about, Sean? What is it? In his life, I guess. And he's having to have to take these little stolen moments here and there when, he should be with that baby all goddamn all the time because it's his. He feel it. He feels just like a mother knows, her child is around. I don't know how we have it, or we have the instinct or foreknowledge, but we know as parents. And he just sneaking like a thief in the night, just trying to see that baby. And it's gonna come to a head because he's gonna find out. But Rick is taking his little punch shots at Ridge, saying, okay, what it is, but we're gonna need some more of that motion and that uplifting when my baby comes. You're just trying to steal the thunder everywhere you can do it. You trying to come take the president job from you. Did good at that. Then you turn around, you want to take my wife's picture down, a mural down from the wall, and put Stephanie picture back up there, and Stephanie been gone, and this, that, and the other. And then I couldn't stay there, and so you pretty much ran me out that house. Now I'm living at my mom. Then I'm hearing that you're supposed to be having kids running around here. You can't even have no children. Now, what's going on with that? So that's pretty much how that went. We went on to Thomas and Caroline and baby Douglas. Thomas goes back to the place again. His dad done told him to go on to work and do that work thing, and stop coming around him. And in a nutshell, that's basically what he was saying. He needs time with his child and his family and stuff. But again, like I said, he ain't married to Caroline. The baby ain't his. So I don't know what kind of life he talking about, child. But anyway, he goes back for those little stolen moments again. Not necessarily looking at Caroline like he want to force for what do you call it? Forced a friendship where it's basically between them two, because technically he slept with her, she know she slept with him, and she started seeing some behavior and mannerisms that she liked it in him, and they might come together again, maybe when Ridge goes out of the country for something, or out of the state for a meeting, they may hook up again, honey, because those feelings are still there between them. They ain't went nowhere. And then they're very much so connected now because they have a child between them, and that's why he's so drawn to the baby as well as her. So he goes back and he's asking her, can he hold the baby, and all this kind of stuff. And Caroline's looking at him like he crazy, but it's a type of endearing look, like, yeah, you shouldn't be asking me, can you hold this baby? Because this is your baby, honey. But they go to commercial and everything, and she's still looking kind of weird at him. But we can all have the kind of feeling that, yeah, she's gonna let him hold the baby. But when we came back from commercial, we went right on back to the office, where Ridge is still there gathering up his stuff to take some work back home so he can go be with his family and all this and that. And they're still celebrating. They brought out the champagne and they're toasting and this, that, and the other. And it's like Rick is still throwing punk shots at Ridge about the baby. Just in being inquisitive to see just what he's wanting to say. And Ridge kind of feel a little tension coming between them, but he's more on the road of Rick just trying to get back being the president of the company. He's just waiting for him to slip up in any way possible, because he didn't think that Brooke would have told such a secret that they shared about him getting a vasectomy and it couldn't have children. Because Brooke, she'll have children at 6 years old if she can, because that's just kind of woman she is. She's into family and she's definitely into love, but it seems like love keep coming up short for her. But anyway, Rick just has that little piece of information, and I don't know how he's gonna try to use it, because like I said, it's a hot mess. So we move on to Caroline and Thomas and baby Douglas again. And she finally submits to letting Thomas hold the baby, and she's trying to give him instructions prior to him getting the baby out of her arms, of how to properly handle the head and all this and that. And he does an excellent job by receiving the baby from her and securing the head and all that. And the baby actually smiles like, "Hey, Dad," because he never smiled when he was Ridge. He'd just be like, he don't even be cooing. He just be like he sleep or something, like, how babies do when they don't want to be bothered. So that was nice to see that he probably felt the presence of his dad or his genes or something, and so he knew he was in love with his parents, and he glad of it, if you can look at it or imagine it in that way. And then we go back to Sasha, Sunday, and Nicole. And Sunday actually comes back to the photography studio where he had left Sasha, but he didn't know that Nicole was actually in there. So when he got in there and saw her sitting down talking to Sasha, he was kind of a little bit concerned, because he didn't know what the conversation was that they were having between one another. And he was hoping that it wasn't the conversation that Sasha may have told Nicole that they slept together, because it wouldn't have been appropriate, and that would have been something for him to have discussed with Nicole. But anyway, Sasha excused herself, and which he was glad about that. And he wanted to talk to Nicole to see why she hadn't been returning his phone calls or his texts and this, that, and the other. And I want to say, fool, you one broke up with the girl. She trying to get over you because she didn't want to break up with you. But you left no choice. You had all the power in your hands. You like, this not working for me. Just really being an itch. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, well, what can you do? What can she do? She's 6 months pregnant. She's feeling horrible. Her hormones are just stretched from here to there. And you're not providing any safe haven for her at this moment. So I'll be looking at you sideways too. But you know me, I probably picked up something and threw it at you or whatever. But that's no here nor there. So basically, she still was just looking at him like he was crazy. And, it's almost like it was nothing to talk about because you had made the decision to dissolve the relationship because you were just thinking about yourself and what you can handle and this, that, and the other. But, it is what it is. So the scene moves from them to Caroline Thomas and Baby Douglas. And then Ridge finally walks in the door. Uh, Thomas is having a good time holding the baby and everything. He don't even acknowledge Ridge coming into the house again. And but Ridge makes contact with Caroline, like, why is he here? Have you told him something? Why is he here? But then he come on up and creeps on towards the area where they were at. And then Thomas can sense, I guess, his father presence or whatever, because he didn't really look up, or anything, but he did acknowledge his father and said, see, Dad, I'm holding the baby, and I'm doing such a good job and this, that, and the other. And Red's looking at him like, man, you better put that baby down. I'm not gonna sacrifice my life, just because you did what you did and brought a baby in this world, and now I gotta take care of it and stuff of that nature. But I'm like, I don't know what Regis' deal is about. He trying to save his family when he don't have no family. He married to Caroline once again. That's not his baby. That baby was brought out of well, look, technically, they was just boyfriend and girlfriend in a sense with a ideal of being married. So, this really was no infringe. This really was nothing going on really, except for he slept with his father's soon-to-be wife, but they weren't married. So, no infidelity was going on. So, I don't understand what the problem is. But anyway, he quickly dismiss what he was saying about, he's holding the baby right and good and all that kind of stuff. He just said, well, I'm tired of everybody hogging up my time. I'm the father. I need to have some time with my baby. I'm like, man, it's obvious that you on a trip, some kind of trip that you need to come on off the road because it ain't serving you no purpose. So just pull up in the driveway and just have you a reflection. Turn the car off, okay? So he just asked Thomas to, let him hold his baby some. And, of course, Thomas like, yeah, sure, you're the dad. That's fine. Yeah, I'll let you have him. Da-da-dee-da-da-da. So Ridge gets the baby, and he's constantly making eye contact at Caroline like, why is he here? What is he doing to you? Because you don't have the same spirit of when I left you earlier. So, just we just slide on from that because that was a hot mess. We're going to go to Rick and Maya and Sasha. Sasha comes into Rick's office because she thought it was free and nobody was in it. She just needed a room to escape to. And she's basically letting them know that she was down in the photography studio when talking to Nicole and trying to get her feeling a little bit better because she was down in the dumps and she was confiding in her about, Sunday and her being over and this, that, and the other. And, Sunday came in, wanted to talk to her, so she wanted to get him some time alone. But she really don't think it's something that can be resolved or repaired. And, Maya Rick was like, she just needs some time. And, Maya was saying, y'all, they need to get back together. They need to work it out, this, that, and the other. And then, Sasha was like, well, I don't think it's going to be able to be worked out. And she know why it's not going to be able to work out because she liked it Sunday. She liked it, the sex, and she's going to try to keep him for herself. But, she was trying to talk negative and say, no, they just need to break up and he needs to move on and she needs to move on and da da da. Yeah, we see why she needs to move on and that you want that relationship to be permanently uh destroyed because you want to be his girlfriend, you want to be his lady and all this kind of stuff. You want to be a Forrester. So it is just a hot mess. And Ma and Rick wasn't buying it. They're just saying, maybe, they need a little bit more time. She's gonna deliver soon and we're gonna try to repair that situation for them. So, of course, Sasha didn't like that. So we move on to Sunday and Nicole again, back down in the studio. They're both having their little talk and trying to discuss the negative issues that got them to the point that they're at now. But she don't know that her half sister Sasha and her recently broke up boyfriend, who was saying she was the light of his life and all this kind of stuff, and he would never mess over her. He had slept with her half sister, so that's a hot mess. But he's trying to make her understand that he didn't truly try to hurt her in any way with breaking up with her while she was still pregnant. It's just something he had to do, and he just felt like he had to do it, or whatever. But we already know he was just horny. He didn't want to fool with her and somebody else's baby growing in her. So he went to the next hot spot, which was Sasha. So he's feeling more so guilty over that than what he actually did, which was, breaking up with her. But she don't know that yet. But Lord have mercy, when she find out, oh, it's going to be on like popcorn, honey. Okay, and then we go back to Thomas Ridge and Caroline. So basically, Thomas excuses himself once again. He feels like the third wheel. Rich doesn't make him feel, any different. So he exits the room. He acknowledges again, that he just loved that little boy, this, that, and the other. He just had this strong connection with him. He really don't want to leave, but he know he don't overstayed his boundaries and his time. So he just walks on out the door. And, Ridge is back on Caroline about, we have got to keep this secret. I am the father of this child. No one needs to know, because if it ever came up to pass, we would lose everything. And I'm not scared about losing my position at Forrester or my reputation. I'm just worried about you. Like, when did he worry about her? Because they ain't married. They ain't married. And then he's going around holding his son's baby, claiming that it's his. So I don't know if it's just some type of contract they don't put together that, Ridge has to be in a family oriented type relationship, and he can't tear up the family anymore, or it will resolve him from being president, and then it will give Rick another chance at it. I don't know what the tea is on that, but I'm like, if I were Caroline, I'd be like, I cannot, because that's how she got messed up with losing Rick to Maya, because she lied about some other stuff, and she just like on this kick that she's not gonna lie anymore. She's gonna be truthful with everybody and the feelings, so everybody can be on one accord. And she just didn't want to lie, but it's tearing her apart. It really is. And then she probably tired of that old man herself. I'm like, why did she fall in love with Ridge in the first place? And I know it had a lot to do with her being young and mature, and she was in awe, and she looked at Ridge as a legend. And so when he confided in her about his illness and how it had left him paralyzed in a sense to where he couldn't draw with his hands, she kind of guided him and mentored him back, and this, that, and the other, and encouraged him to, work a little harder with trying to put what he was feeling and what he was envisioning in his mind to, draw it back to his hands and create the masterpieces that he had did in the past. And I can understand that. And then she was going back and forth with Rick. They weren't having really a solid relationship at the time, so she felt vulnerable, and she slipped into this slippery slope where feelings were there for Ridge, and Ridge was going through his little mess with Brooke and didn't know where he fit in, and he fell for her. So it almost was like a one night stand deal again, and that's how they kind of connected. But now she's basically seeing Ridge for who he is. He can't keep no woman. He's just he's just a hot mess. I can use every little adjective we could possibly find, but he's just a hot mess. So I think his time has come on the show, because if they had the old Ridge wouldn't did no mess like that. And I'm like, look how he did Katie. I was just too messed up. So I don't, like I said, I don't really know why Caroline let herself fall that deeply in love with the Ridge. But as we can see, he's not taking any relationship serious. I think he needs to go have therapy somewhere, or whatnot, because he's making her lie. She's not used to doing that, because she had took on another leaf on life to not lie, just to get her way and stuff. And she sees how good Thomas is with baby Douglas and stuff, and it just tears her heart up, because he is truly the father, and she's keeping all this big secret from him, and it's not right. So I really feel that she's gonna break down emotionally, and she gonna start spilling some tea, and I'm be like, turn it up, get it popping hot, because I'm ready to drink it. You know what I'm saying? Woo! So that's all I pretty much got on that saga, and that's where it pretty much left off. So look forward to looking at it tomorrow, God willing. And I will take my notes, and I'll be back on the tube to give you the play by play of how it went down. But I'm pretty sure tomorrow they'll probably go on Quinn and Liam. But either or, it's gonna be exciting. I'll be back tomorrow with March episode 23rd on this year. Okay, so I'm glad I had a chance to review it for you. Hope you like it. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Tell me how I'm doing with the stories and all that, what I can improve on. And we're just going to roll like that. But you good people, be blessed. Have a nice night and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.